Okay, we're gonna go over the practice problems from 15.6. I'm gonna do mine on a separate sheet of paper so that I have room to work it out. Here we go. So number one, the original price is $80. The discount is 20%. So our first job is we need to find 20% of 80. That will tell us the dollar amount of the discount. So 20% translates to 2/10. Of means multiply, and then drop down our 80, okay? So when we multiply, and you can use a calculator for this multiplication if you want, it doesn't really matter. But when we multiply 2/10 times 80, we get $16. That's the amount of the discount. So in order to find the sales price, we need to take our $80, we subtract out the discount, borrow, and we get $64 as the sales price. Okay? All right, let's look at number two. Okay, number two, the original price is $120. The discount, ooh, big savings. The discount is 80%, and we need to find the sales price. So our first job is we need to find the dollar amount of the discount. So we need to find 80% of 120. 80% as a decimal is 8/10. Of tells us to multiply. Multiply by 120. You can use a calculator to work out this multiplication if you want. I don't think you need it. I bet you can do that mentally. And we get $24. So this is the amount that we save because it's discounted. So to find the sales price, 120 minus 24, and we get $96. Okay, so here's our sale price. Number three. Okay, so original price is $95. The sales price, ooh, this one's tricky. We didn't have one like this in our lesson. The sales price is $61.75, and we need to figure out the amount of the discount, okay? So here's what we know. Let's start by writing out a phrase that kind of summarizes. What we need is the percent. We don't know what that is, so let's call it P. So what percent, that's what we don't know, of our original price, 95, is $61.75. Okay, so I just took these three pieces of information and I wrote it into a sentence because that's how we're used to seeing it. Then we can translate our sentence. Okay, is, that's our equal sign. Drop down our $61.75. Here's the word of. That tells us these two items are multiplied. We don't know the percent, we represented it with a variable P. So 95P equals 61.75. So then we can solve our equation by dividing each side by 95. Okay, again, I encouraged you, if you wanted to, you can use a calculator to work out this division. Okay, if you don't have a calculator handy, you can find one on the web if you need to, or you can simply work out the division by hand. If we were to work it out by hand, 61.75 divided by 95, we would hop up our decimal point. 95 doesn't go into 61. And when we continue with our division, I know you can do long division, so I'm not going to work it out for you. We get 35. Okay, but remember, percents are presented in the decimal form when they're in equations. So 0.35 is the decimal form of our percent. So to change it to a percent, multiply by 100, and we get 35%. Okay, so 35% is the amount of the discount. Okay, or is the percent of the discount, I should say. Okay, from there, there's also another column for you to fill in the dollar amount of the discount. That's not really that important in this case, but we would just start with our $95 and subtract out the sales price, $61.75. Add some zeros, borrow if you need to. 10 minus 5 is 5, 9 minus 7 is 2, 4 minus 1 is 3, 9 minus 6 is 3. So in other words, we saved $33.25 because it was on sale. Okay, number 4. So this one is different in that it tells us the amount of the discount and it tells us the sales price. But it doesn't tell us the original price. So let's write down the information we know. We know that the discount is 5%, and we know that the sales price is $57, okay? What we don't know is our original amount. That's gonna be our X, okay, our unknown. So let's talk about this right here, okay? So the original amount, if we were to pay the original amount, we would be paying 100% of the price. But it's discounted 5%. So this is our discount, which means since we're saving 5%, we're actually only paying 95% of the original price, okay, not 100%. So then we're gonna take all of this information and we're gonna write a sentence that we can translate into an equation. So we know we're paying 95% of some amount, and that equals $57. So 95% of what number is the $57? Then we can translate this into an equation, 0.95. We have to change it to a decimal. Of tells us to multiply. So I'm just gonna smash it together to represent that multiplication. That's our equal sign. And then we would pop in our $57, okay? Solve our equation by dividing each side by 95/100ths. You can work this out by hand. I don't care if you just pop it into a calculator. And we get X equals $60. So $60 would be that original amount, okay? So if you want to fill in the dollar amount of the discount, well, it was $60 and you paid $57, which means you saved $3 for it being on sale. That was the amount of the discount. Okay, all right, for the last 3, we're gonna find the selling price. So number 5, the store pays $50 and the markup is 10%, okay? So our first job is to find 10% of 50. So 0.1 of means to multiply times 50 is $5. So this is the amount of the markup, okay? The store paid $50. They're marking it up $5. So the selling price is $55. Okay, we have 2 more just like this. Number 6, the store paid $80. Ooh, big markup. The markup is 60%. Okay, so our first job is to find the dollar amount of the markup. So we need to find what 60% of 80. Okay, so 60% is 6/10 as a decimal. Of means to multiply. I bet you can do this one in your head. We get $48 is the amount they're gonna mark it up. Okay, so this is the amount of the markup. The product started as $80. The store is gonna mark it up $48, so we have to add it. And 80 plus 48 is 128. Okay, last one, 7. All right, same idea. The cost to the store is $140 with a markup of 25%. Okay, our first job is to find the dollar amount of the markup. So we need to find out what's 25% of 140. So of means to multiply. You have to change this to a decimal first. So 25 hundredths times 140. Punch that into your calculator or work it off to the side, and we get $35. This is the dollar amount of the markup. The product started at $140. It's being marked up another $35 for a total of $175. Okay, that's it. Hope it helped. Bye.